Hey, and welcome to my channel. My name is Chrissy Hodges, advocate for OCD, author of Pure OCD, The Invisible Side of Obsessive Compulsive Disorder, peer support specialist working with people worldwide, providing support as you work toward recovery, and referrals to therapists anywhere in the world. OCD is an app in OCD. They also have other features inside the app where you can connect to other users, and they do telehealth. So if you are looking to do ERP telehealth, check them out at treatmyocd.com. I'm so glad that you're here today. Just want you to know that you are seen and you are heard. This disorder can be so lonely, and especially about what I'm going to talk about today. I'm just glad that you're here. I'm glad that you took the chance to click on the video. Sometimes we're Googling for answers, and sometimes you come across stuff that can be extra triggering. But you are here, which means you have hope, and that's what we really need in working toward recovery. I want to talk about a really important aspect of OCD that we don't talk about a lot, but I know that all of us feel. I like to call it the OCD haze. I want to talk about it because I actually was in the OCD haze a few days ago, and gosh, I just forget how awful it is. And so I want to just explain to you how it feels for me and validate it for you, just how scary it is when you're in it. So the OCD haze is when something triggers you to the point where the threat feels so real that you can't escape. So sometimes I get triggered and I get in the OCD haze, let's say if, because I have emetophobia, so the fear of vomit. So every once in a while, I'll be around someone, and then the next day they'll text and say, "Hey, I threw up all night," and I might get in that haze of, "Oh my God, what if I throw up?" Blah 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 blah, and that's so acute. But because you have to think, "Oh, I have to wait 2 or 3 days, to see if I'm going to throw up or not." If you have emetophobia, you know what I'm talking about. But when it's not something like that, where I'm used to dealing with it since I was 8 years old, the haze can feel so scary and lonely. And this is what it feels like. You know how if you're in a shower and the shower glass is clear and it fogs up or has water all over it, and you can see outside of the shower and anything that would be going on outside, but it's foggy in front of you and it's not clear? That's what the OCD haze feels like for me. It feels like I'm stuck behind this blurry wall, but I can see life going on and I can't get out and participate. And in fact, every feeling that I have, every part of me is shut down and honed in on the threat. I have to figure this out right now. And I think that the hard part about this, I'm gonna try not to get emotional. I think the hard part about this is the shame. Sorry guys, this is surprising. So when I was in the haze a few days ago, it was a while back actually, I was with people, and these are people I really wanted to be with. I wanted to spend time with them, and I had been looking forward to being with them. And when the haze came up, there was nothing I could do in that moment. And they were talking, and there was this, I wanted so badly to participate, but it was like the world shut down and I couldn't even really see them anymore. And I was so jealous that they were just living life and doing their thing, and here I am in the room with them, stuck. And y'all know how it is. Then you have to turn on the acting skills. You have to go, I can't let anyone know what's going on. So here I am behind the glass blurry door, and I have to make sure my face is okay. So you have to be hyper vigilant, right? I have to make sure my face looks okay. I cover up my chest usually, because I usually get real red and blotchy, and I'm making any excuse to get out of there. Why? Because my brain is like, figure this out right now. You have to figure it out or else. And it's so fucking lonely and terrifying. And I was so ashamed that I sabotaged that time that I had with these people because of this stupid non-threat that I knew wasn't a threat, and I knew it was stupid, but it was so acute in that moment I couldn't escape. And I did. I made excuses to get out of there, to go isolate. For what reason? There was no way to solve the problem because the problem doesn't exist. So if the problem doesn't exist, there is no solution. So I was stuck behind the blurry wall. Yeah, eventually, usually I just have to sleep it off. And I did. Then the next day, of course, y'all know how it is. In the morning, if you're experiencing this, OCD punches you in the face the moment you woke up. But I knew it was going to, so I was ready. So when it did, I just got up, made a plan, understood that this could come back or whatever. And I actually just searched for a little reassurance because I'm not perfect. And I still do compulsions too, but I worked through it and I got out of it within a day. Within, probably 12 hours. So it was okay. And I did actually end up sleeping, so that was all right. But I wanted to share that with you because I just wanted you to know that this is one of the more terrifying parts of having OCD. Because first of all, when you get in the haze, some people call it like the cloud. That you just feel like you're in this cloud and life is going on, but you can't get out of like the blurriness of the cloud, and you see life going on and you can't participate. And here's why it's so scary. First of all, you don't know when it's going to end. So that's terrifying. How long am I going to stay in this? Is it ever going to break? That's what I call it. Is it going to break? And I'm going to feel normal again. What if I never feel normal again? You will. We do. It normalizes. Feelings don't last forever. I just gave you reassurance. The second thing is, typically in this stage of that acute anxiety, you might experience depersonalization or dissociation. Now, for those of y'all with harm OCD and intrusive thoughts about psychosis, this is a nightmare for you. Dissociation is a normal, healthy part of a brain protecting you from danger. Normal, healthy, that is what it is there for a purpose. It sees a threat. If it's too acute, you can't handle it, you're going to dissociate because your brain is trying to protect you from what is going on. But because we are so hyper vigilant and hyper aware, we then worry about why I'm dissociating instead of understanding it's a normal function of the brain in order to protect us, because that's what's going on. When we're in the haze, that's what's going on. But we can't see that because when we're in the haze, we're like, what is going on? Why can't I feel my fingers? What if this? What does this mean? I'm never going to get out of this or whatever. So for those of you that fear dissociation, and typically it's going to be related to harm and the psychosis piece, man, this can be tough for you. And I just want to say that I see you on that. Depersonalization, the same thing. And a couple things I can tell you that can help. It might not help if you're too honed in and focused on needing to not have dissociation, but grounding techniques can help. So typically what I do if I'm experiencing dissociation during the haze or even a panic attack, I will activate the 5 senses. Okay, so you've probably all heard this, but whatever, it's good to get reminded. So I look for 5 things in the room that are red. Okay, so this activates my sight. I'm looking around, I'm refocusing on something else. I hold a piece of ice. So this is activating touch, right? So it's so cold, it's gonna pull me out of that. Or I'll put it right here on my wrist because that's such a sensitive area. I have these, I don't have them right here, but I have like the little earbuds. I'll pop those on my finger too. Or I'll get something that is sharp. I don't cut myself, but like I'll get something like kind of sharp and just sometimes I'll like pinch between my fingers like that just to kind of give me this, okay, like I feel that. And so I'm focusing on that now. I don't hurt myself, but I can just feel it. You can grab a lemon if you have one, and you can, take a bite of a lemon or just suck on the lemon. So it's activating the taste, smell, alcohol, rubbing alcohol. Sometimes I'll just grab some, sniff it really quick just to kind of wake my senses up. I think I'm missing a sense. Oh, hearing. So obviously music, I like to listen to techno. And I know that sounds weird, but sometimes like that actual backbeat of techno, if my brain can latch onto the backbeat, then I can actually hear what's going on in the front, which distracts my brain. So that's why when I listen to techno and I'm triggered, sometimes I listen to really hard techno. So that way I can actually my brain can latch over here, and then I can hear the melody instead. So those are just ways of adjusting. You really want to ground when you're feeling dissociated and depersonalized. The bottom line is, y'all, this is just part of OCD. And the haze, first of all, the haze is terrifying. And sometimes you can experience the haze for days at a time or weeks. When you come out of the haze, the shame comes too, right? So I came out of the haze and I was just fucking pissed. Mainly because I then mentally review, what did I do to get in the haze? Or like, what circumstances could I have controlled differently? Because it just makes me mad. Like, I was not present at a time I wanted to be present, and I lost that time. And we all know how that feels with OCD. Losing time, losing milestones, losing memories. It causes so much grief. And so then I'm feeling shame. Why did this happen? And then I'm feeling anger about what I allowed to happen to get me to that point. Or that I'm just stupid. How stupid are you, Chrissy, that you let this happen? How weak, how you must not be in recovery. So there's that rabbit hole. This is when I have to actively choose self-compassion, and I have to go, I did the best I could. You're doing the best that you can. Sometimes when you get into the acute phase of anxiety, you just got to let go, and you have to go, I can't have control right now, and so I'm going to allow this to happen. And it sucks. Then the fear comes, what if I get into the haze again? So then you can start to fear getting that trigger again. I don't have a solution for that, and that's not what this video is about. This video is more about helping you to identify that this is a normal part of having OCD, and everybody I've talked to has experienced this. If you haven't experienced it, by the way, that doesn't mean you don't have OCD. So don't take that, don't take that and run with it. And chances are you're going to experience it if you haven't. But it is one of the more lonely, terrifying times with OCD, because it truly feels like there's nothing that can pull that shade, that can open those glass blurry doors. There's nothing you can do at that point. And typically what people do is, I got to get out of here and isolate. And man, how lonely does that feel? So that's all I have to say. I just wanted to come on today and just share with you that I feel you. I see you. I've been there. I was just there. And it was a big reminder of how scary it can be. And just that I did the best that I could to take care of myself. I did miss out, and I was so sad and so ashamed about it. But sometimes you have to make difficult choices in order to take care of your mental health, or in order to make a plan on how to get out of it. But boy, did that time after needing to leave, boy, did that time feel lonely. And I would have given anything to been able to just get up and go and shake it off, and I couldn't. There's nobody in the world that could have been in the room with me that could have made it better. And I just want you to know that if you have felt that way, you're not alone. So I love you. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the struggle that you've gone through. I go through it too. And you being here just shows that you want to connect and that you want to find hope. And hope does exist for this disorder. And you can get through it. And just FYI, I'm in a great place now. And this wasn't too long ago. And I worked through it, and I'm okay. And that trigger no longer exists. So there is hope. And I just had to go through it to get through it. So have a great day, and I'll see you next time.